Hello everyone, welcome to another Eugene. This is the third edition of Public Drum Shaming by Eugene R. R stands for roasting. Today we're going to be reviewing these 10 entries, and I just wanted to remind you, if you'd like to submit your video for me to review, you have to get familiar with the rules first. Before we start, I'm gonna review myself once again. I wanted to apologize for the second batch where I once again had technical issues with my video, which was totally messed up. With that being said, I'll give myself the Worst Reviewer award once again. Sorry and thank you very much, and I'll keep doing so until I'm satisfied with the way these reviews work. I do hope my feedback was a little bit more useful this time. I'll try to keep it as short as possible and give everybody equal attention. So let's not waste any more time and start with our very first entry for today. And this video was submitted by Clemens Recheis. Hopefully it's okay. This is Vengeance by August Burns Red. Awesome video quality production. Feisty cymbals. Traditional blast. Wrist. Great wrist technique. A lot of power. Molder on the right. Great. The spacing of the hits is very nice. The snare goes between the kicks as it's supposed to be. The mix is very raw. It's like this carton box drum sound, something that you get just from like recording the stamps, maybe balancing the audio, and that's it. No EQ, no compression, no reverb, no nothing, no resampling, or at least this is what I hear. Maybe if it's even done, it's not that much, but it's like super rehearsal quality. The difference between the video production and the audio is so big, it's a little bit strange. When you see the video quality of such high level, you would expect plastic sounding drums, but that's not the case. Sweating a lot already. A little bit of spacing issues. Losing that snare. Popcorn fills. Getting tired. Keep going. Oh. Take a beating. Yeah, that's what I tell my drums. You hear the snare flamming with the kicks a little bit. Yeah, tough part. Ooh, cool triplet fills. Love them. Okay, thank you very much. This was very great. The good stuff. You have great technique, good wrist movement on the blast, a lot of power on that snare. This is very awesome. Great molder on the right hand when you're blasting with the cymbal, also gives you a lot of power, easy to keep up with the speed. Amazing video production. The quality is 10 out of 10. The cameras are great. I see the cameraman moving in the background. Very nice. Maybe you could make the dark stuff darker, the bright stuff brighter, so you have even more contrast. But overall, I think this was absolutely amazing. Just like Victor Litvinov from the first batch, I'd say that was like one of the best that I've seen. This one was probably as good as Victor's. In terms of audio quality production, also very nice, super raw, like rehearsal kind of audio quality where you can really spot all the flaws and you can really tell what you need to work on. So for me, this video is a great example to make a review on your technique and stuff like this, okay? So the bad stuff is only the timing of the blasts in terms of your technique, so just pay attention to the snare to fall between the kicks when you're doing a traditional blast, stuff that I mentioned in the first and the second batch. So this is one thing that you need to work on. You can maybe hold back a little bit on the snare power, so play it a little bit quieter, and this way it's going to be easier to position it between the kicks, just for the sake of practice. When the snare is way too loud, it's going to kind of throw you off because it's on the offbeat. So one way to clear up this traditional blast is to play the left hand a little bit quieter. But overall, I love your power, so make sure that you still prioritize that when you clean up the blast in the end. Also pay attention to the snare and the kick. falling together in unison on the grid when you're playing those breakdowns with the kick patterns. I know that these are tough because they require a lot of coordination and independence between different limbs, but this is the stuff that you could work on. You were super focused on the parts, obviously, but I really loved the energy. We were playing with a lot of passion. In my opinion, you were sweating a lot. I think this was overall a very great entry. The general impression was very good. Well done. So just keep working on these things. Try to listen very carefully to your own playing and try to make it as tight as you can. That's it. Let's continue with the second entry. The second submission is from Dario.
Now leave me alone!
This is Am I God? Titans of the Void. Wow, great sounding kit. Yeah, I did think that the riff was reminding me a bit of Slipknot, and then I saw the shirt. Oh, fast kicks. Double strokes? Super clean. Yes, double strokes. Jungle Tom in action. That was awesome. I love the facial work. Those Tom splash fills are insane. Very good. Oh, yeah, the kicks. Super precise. Very nice. Oh, yeah, molar snare blast. I am in love with that snare sound. Really cool. I don't know why. I really like it. I could maybe use a little bit more cymbals, but that's just my taste. Sorry, but the guitar player is stealing the spotlight for me for this video. I'm watching you. Are you watching me? Amazing. Good dynamics, triplets. More jungle toms. Nice swing.
You know how to swing. You're platinum, pussycat.
Enough power. Great dynamics, great speed and precision. Awesome kicks. You can tell that they're enjoying what they're doing. Okay, so thank you very much for submitting. This was honestly super enjoyable to watch. I'm gonna start with the good stuff as always. So with your technique, great power, great energy, great precision, awesome double strokes. You could hear some of the like micro sloppiness here and there, which leads me to believe that this was as raw and as unedited as it can get. Maybe if you even fixed certain things, but you can really hear that it's not 100% quantized. This is absolutely awesome. Great sounding mix, great sounding snare, great drum parts. Everything was like 10 out of 10 in my opinion. Super cool. Loved the body and facial work, both of you and your guitar playing colleague. This was super cool. The bad stuff. I cannot really say too much because everything was really good. Maybe one thing that I didn't quite enjoy is the camera movement overall. I'm not saying that I would prefer static camera angles, but maybe in comparison to Clemens or Victor's from the first batch video production, this was a little bit lower, so this is something you could try to improve in the future, and that's basically it. I really have nothing to complain about. So one minor advice for you in terms of improvement and what should be the next step: just try to keep challenging yourself with more complex drum patterns, more complex songs. Go faster, play harder, and don't be afraid to torture yourself a little bit. So you are on the right path. Just keep doing what you're doing. This was super cool. People, take notes. Okay, submission number 3 by Nabil K. This is Panthera, Regular People. Yeah. Very aggressive snare sound. Sounds very clicky. Yeah, air guitar. Cool. If the kick is not triggered, at least I really like the way it sounds. Very clicky. And the snare as well, very aggressive. I love the constant feed cam at the right bottom corner. The only thing that's disturbing is the border of the box, the white. Way too thick for my taste. Smart ass attitude, Eugene. The snare is so solid, it's always being hit with the same power. Sounds always the same. Very, very tight and brutal. Aggressive. Can you feel the groove? I most certainly can. No, I'm almost sure that kicks are not triggered. Maybe he's using a blend of microphone and trigger. These vocals are awesome. Panthera is awesome. Great sounding mix. I love the overall sound. The ride sounds beautiful. Son of a bitch. I will get demonetized because of Phil Anselmo's lyrics. Yes. Great sounding toms. Love it. Offbeat ride bell. Awesome. Very, very precise. Very nice. This is challenging. The kick is on the downbeat. The ride bell is on the upbeat. And he is doing it very precisely. Well done. You can feel him enjoying it. He's in the groove. He's like, angry. You see him moving his left foot there on the hi-hat pedal, but he's not playing it, but he feels it. That's a sign he's really into it, in my opinion. I'm into it as well. This was awesome. 2/2. Slow stuff, very challenging to do, very precise. Well done. Alright, the good stuff. Great technique, great overall sound. I love the mix. I love the sound of all the drums, the snares, the kicks, the toms, the cymbals. Everything was absolutely perfect. The balance between your drums and the original song was also super perfect, in my opinion. Everything was great. In terms of technique, yes, you're hitting hard. That's very nice. I can see that you're playing with passion. You're into it. Awesome. I loved it. Great quality of video, good angles in my opinion. That was super cool. The bad stuff. Playing Panthera is very challenging in terms of groove and energy and all the fire and the passion. And although you did good, I say that maybe you could work a little bit on pushing even more. So you were hitting hard, but you can always go harder. So I would like to compare you to Eli Casagrande in terms of what you would try to look and sound like. I know that is very challenging. It's a very high standard, but if you're going to be going for this kind of groovy Panthera kind of music, you could go into the Casagrande direction. In terms, I think that would suit you very well in terms of just putting even more and more anger and energy into it. So make sure that you rewatch your videos all the time, a lot, and you compare them, let's say, to Eli, and that would be good to kind of analyze it and try to improve and think of what you could do better next time. But you're on the right path. Just don't be afraid to completely go nuts and destroy everything. This was super cool. The second thing is in terms of video production, maybe you could work a little bit more on the lights and on color correction. So add a little bit more contrast. Darker stuff is darker, brighter stuff is brighter. So because it was all a little bit kind of too raw in my opinion. The sound was great, the video was like nice, but could be improved there as well. Thank you very much. This was a great entry. We have awesome entries so far. You guys are setting a very high standard for this. I am very happy about it. Let's move on. Our next submission is from Bram Veldeman, and this is a Belphegor song. I don't even know how to pronounce that. Sein Tod in Schwarz. Cool sounding snare. Push pull. Wow. The spacing of the snare and the kicks, very good for a push pull for that tempo. Amazing. Super tight, super precise. Yeah, low frame rate overhead angle. Look at the right hand push pulling, the right cymbal. I know Bram from posting stuff on Facebook. I watch him a lot and I know that he's a push pull guru. You can tell that he is getting some inspiration from Ken Bedena for Boarded, judging by the height of his crash cymbals. Wow, the phrasing on the auxiliary hi-hat is very cool. Like push pull with a little bit of tan ta ta tan ta 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 ta. He's singing on his own with his cymbals. This is very nice. Guys, take notes. And the snare and the kicks are bashing those fast 16th notes, and this is like 250-ish maybe, I don't know. And he's holding back so much on the snare when it's slow. You know what I usually talk about of balancing your hits. The overall recording is very raw, you know, you can hear that it's not plastic. It's awesome. Very easy to demonstrate your technique. Oh, cool phrasings with the bell. The snare volume is so great at these fast tempos. Potato kicks a bit. The 4/2, 2/2 is a little bit chaotic. That was very, very impressive. Okay, so Bram, the good stuff. Amazing snare volume on the blast and as well as the slow stuff, so that's very cool that you're trying to make it sound almost the same. This is awesome. So extreme metal drummers, make sure that you take notes. I've talked about this in previous batches as well, that you try to kind of compress and trigger your snare sound on your own, okay? Amazing phrasings with the auxiliary hi-hat and ride cymbal during the blast. That was super cool. Overall, your traditional blast was exceptionally clean for push-pull for these tempos, so this is amazing. You can really tell that Bram is practicing his blasts a lot. The bad stuff. Sometimes it seemed to me that you try to challenge yourself a bit way too much, especially with the rolls. The blasts are great, but the rolls, the 4/2, 2/2, sometimes were a little bit kind of sloppy-ish, a little bit too chaotic. So this is something that you could try to work on cleaning up the rolls, okay? The kicks were a little bit unison sloppy-ish. And I know that you can pull off very fast stuff with your feet, so this is another thing that you can work on. The overall mix is very nice. I would prefer to have it a bit even more produced in terms of resampling, EQ, compression, whatever, but this was a very raw footage, like almost practice footage, which demonstrates your technique very nicely. So this was very cool in my opinion. A great submission. In terms of video quality, you could get different cameras, improve lights, especially the overhead thing was struggling a little bit with the lights. You saw that the frame rate dropped. That's the sign of the camera not being able to handle the environment. Another thing you could work on a little bit maybe is the power on the rolls and the toms, so don't be afraid to hit harder when you go with the rolls, and like overall volume, okay? So don't be afraid to put a little bit of this into your drumming. I know that you have to hold back a lot on the blast. That was super cool, but the rest can use a little bit more juice, okay? I've seen some of your videos in the past, but I haven't seen this one before, and I was honestly blown away beyond my expectations. I think this was absolutely great, so well done. Love your push-pull. Let's continue. The next video is from Baflomet, Goat God Dominus. This one is called We Awake Chaos, unreleased song. This is unreleased, but we get the chance to listen and watch it right now, so guys, appreciate it. Czajcie kopyto shirt. Uh, 2/2 carton box potato rolls. Great wrist technique on the hi-hat. Breakdown. Ah, a lot of power in the skank beat. Nice. Yeah, you see? Fourth notes on the upbeat with the hi-hat, just the way I love it. Nice. Powerful blast. Oh. Hand switch, this is great. Loved it. Also, a little bit of spacing issues there. No big deal. Sounds more like a triplet rather than 16th note, so it's like... Nice wrist movement, yeah. Oh, there's another floor tom that we don't actually see. It's very close to the camera. Oh, you can see the sticks are completely destroyed in the middle. Most likely he is rim shotting. This was very nice. Thank you very much for the submission. So the good stuff. I love the power. I love the energy. Great speed, great control, nice raw and powerful sound, cool patterns. All of that stuff was good. Honestly, this was very nice to see a kind of a rehearsal video with drums only. The bad stuff. Well, you can work a little bit more on spacing, especially the 2/2 rolls. The traditional blast was kind of good, but sometimes you could hear the kick and the snare being played in unison, which is not supposed to be the case, okay? So one thing to work on that, 2/2s to work on. Also, a bit of kind of a let's say, sloppy lack of confidence in the slow patterns with the kick when you were playing those breakdowns and the kicks were a little bit off the grid. But I saw the wire, so I was assuming that you're playing to a click or to a song. So you just need to make sure that you're super precise and super tight on those things. Just work a little bit on tightness. I would recommend you to maybe invest into triggers and microphones, even if you don't want to record with them, but just to use them as monitors so that you can hear yourself better, especially the kicks. Although you hit the kicks with a lot of power, you could still use a little bit of the clicky trigger just so that you know that you're exactly on the grid when you're listening to yourself, okay? Maybe you can even tune the snare a little bit higher. If it's tuned higher, it's easier to hear what's going on just for you. You know, I'm not saying that you need to improve the mix because this was like a rehearsal video. So this was just my suggestion, okay? I think you're doing great. You're on the right path. So just keep working and everything's gonna be fine. Let's continue. The next video is from Vic Sand. This is Elveti Helvetios. I love that song. It has a lot of cool patterns that I actually often recommend to students to try to learn and play to improve their technique. Breakdown. What a cool looking snare. Hey, yeah. The hi-hat count in. Fingers and wrists on the ride. More arm on the snare. Pay attention to how his snare is kind of tilted away from him, angled away like the jazz players. Right now. Or maybe it's just the camera angle, I don't know. Easy, yeah. And tilted hi-hat as well. Interesting. I like it how he has a cymbal stand for the microphone. Solo. Brum, boom. Yeah, he's smiling. He loves it. I love it too. I love the way he's smiling. He is imagining himself on a stage performing this song. Probably this is what I would do. More anger, more juice, please. Yes, he knows that I'm watching. He's smiling. Yes, great, amazing. The 4/2 is amazing. This is so cool, so positive. Helvetios. Thank you very much for this submission. This was very, very lovely, very positive. The good stuff. I love the energy. I love the way that you actually felt the song. You had very great 4/2 rolls, which is actually usually a problematic thing that we see in these batches. The 2/2, 4/2 are rather sloppy in some of the submissions. Yours was very, very good. I really liked your finger wrist technique on the ride, that you had a great range, also great range on the snare drum. You were swinging your arms a lot.
You know how to swing.
The bad stuff, you could work a little bit more on the anger, okay? So if you watch Merlin, the ex-drummer of Helveti, perform, he is bashing those drums hard as fuck. And this is something maybe you could try to do as well. In a certain way, you looked very, very relaxed and chill, which is very good from a technique point of view. But from an artistic point of view, in terms of energy and feeling, sometimes people want to see you struggle, you know, like a blast beat. Why was it invented originally with 1 foot? Because it was a sign of struggle. So unless you suffer, it doesn't seem like it's evil enough, okay? So that's why a lot of people criticize double strokes and 2 feet blasts, because they look and feel way too easy, and you want to feel this kind of like that was the only thing in terms of technique and performance. The overall sound and video was decent in my opinion. You could work a little bit more on improving the video quality. Better cameras, better lights, better audio. Very cool that you had everything mic'd up, but you can work a little bit more on the mix because it was a little bit too much carton box drum sound. For my taste, maybe this is what you preferred, I don't know. Maybe using some samples and stuff like this. And that's basically it. Let's move on. Okay, submission number 7. This is from J. Humberto. Veil of Maya. Nice video production. Cool. Cool lights. Love it. Moving camera. Oh, that snare. Give me more of that snare, please, because, well, super chill. Nice. Wow, that was cool. Oh, this sounds very raw. Ah, yes. So much passion in the music. Where is the passion in your drumming? You're way too chill. This is interesting. Skank beats with 8-note kicks. Nervo Chaos. Oh, 2/4/2. Great. Very tight, very precise. Da-da-da-da. Amazing. I'm getting a bit of Architects vibes from this song. Yeah, he's like, oh, where is that stick going? Oh, the crash. The left crash is dying. See the huge ass crack. Great. Love it. A bit late to the party. Thank you very much. The good stuff. You were, in my opinion, very, very precise, very tight rolls, all sorts of different stuff that you did. 4/2s, triplet stuff, all the breakdowns, everything was very, very nicely on point. You have good technique. You are super relaxed and chill. I think that was amazing. The video production was very cool. I love the moving camera. I love the lights. Everything was super cool. It was very raw and very unprocessed. That was very admirable, honestly. I don't know if you did everything in one take or it was like separated in a few parts, but this was very live and very cool. Great video to show off your skills and to show everyone what you can actually do. The bad stuff. I want to see you suffer a little bit more, okay? You looked a bit too relaxed and chill. I know that you were focusing, you know, you were trying to nail the parts, which you absolutely did in my opinion, so that was very nice. But I want to see a little bit more of the body movement because I really hear it in the song. I really kind of imagine the guys performing their song, The Veil of My Guys, and I can somehow picture them going crazy and putting more soul into it. Try to do that as well, okay? So more body movement, like hell yeah, I'm right now on stage and it's a sold out stadium show, okay? Yeah, more mics, more cameras, more lights, just the usual stuff, but overall this was absolutely great. I think you did very well. Let's continue. Next entry is from Matt from the band Street to the Ocean. That's a band from Vienna, or at least from somewhere here close. I did one show with them actually, by the way, in 2015 maybe. I don't recall exactly. They asked me to help them out like a week or 2 weeks before the show, not sure. And we had 3 hours rehearsal and the next day we played the gig and everything was awesome. The song is called Salvation and this is a live drum cam from Fajne Misto, Ternopil, Ukraine, 2019. Okay. Mulder blast on the snare. 1 2 3 1 2 3 4 groups of 4. Offbeat hi-hat. A lot of nice wrist movement. Nice 4/2s. Nice circle pit in the crowd. Yeah, love it. I love that he's trying to encourage the crowd. That bass player over there. Nice ghost notes. Good sound for camera quality. I don't know what camera was this. Maybe some action GoPro whatever thing. Digga triplet 4/2. Tough to do. Yes. He's feeling it. Oh, this is so cool. Awesome. I love the showmanship. This was tough. Digga. Wow, triplet kicks. This is tough. Tough stuff. Yes, he's bashing the snare very hard. Very cool. This is good. Yes, great. I love the neck movement. I could use a bit of upper chest movement as well. Look at your bass player going nuts. You should try to take notes. Blast again. Nice stick height. Thank you very much. Дякуємо. I really enjoyed it. So the good stuff. I love the energy, headbanging, nice power on the snare, good wrist technique on the blast, great for over twos, and you had a lot of subdivision changes in from 8th notes to triplets to 16th notes and all that complicated stuff. So that was very, very nice. Overall, it was super cool and fun to watch you perform. The bad stuff, the stuff that you could improve, the energy was good, the head movement and the hand movement was good. You could even put more anger and force into it with your body. That would be the only thing that I would try to think about. Stuff that I already mentioned before many times. So, but this was super cool. Honestly, I really, really enjoyed it. I think you have great technique. In terms of, let's say, you know, what could be a part of your performance is you could maybe use a bit of triggers or either hit harder with the kicks. You know, one of those two things that you could improve. Overall, I think I don't even have any good suggestions for you at this point because I think this was very cool. So don't be afraid to challenge yourself with more technical stuff if you want to improve your rolls, blast beats, breakdowns, whatever. Make sure that you do practice to a click. This is actually one thing that maybe I would suggest if you're not performing live with click. Try to consider that, okay? So if you're performing to a click live, you have something to listen to that you always follow, and you don't need to worry that you're going to be slowing down or speeding up too much depending on your mood and energy levels, whatever, okay? Damn it, today's submissions are actually very nice, and I have nothing to complain about. Guys, you have to give me something bad. Let's move on. Next video by Jhoni Rodrigues. Veramis playthrough, The Disgusting Path of Humanity. I feel you. This is gonna be fast. Wow. Great finger technique on the blast. Skank downbeat. Amazing. Wow, very tight, very nice and precise. And super fast as well. This is like 240-ish. Za, za, za. Mini China, awesome. Wow, this was awesome, loved it. Would be cool to have the guitars a little bit quieter to hear more drums. Is that a traditional blast with the snare in between the kicks with his right hand? And the halftime China. Amazing. Wow. It requires a lot of independence. Yes, my favorite part. Oh, it's over too soon. Actually, I would love to see more. Okay, this was absolutely great. The good stuff. Very nice finger technique on the left hand on the snare. You have very nice stick height. That was very cool. Actually, overall, this was one of the tightest things I've seen in these submissions at this tempo. Okay, so this was very fast and very precise. The rolls were great. Loved the mini stack phrasing patterns. That was absolutely awesome. Halftime China in the traditional blast was tough. I'm not sure if I actually spotted correctly the traditional blast with the right hand on the snare between the kicks. If this is what you actually played, then that was like, wow, beyond amazing. The bad stuff that I think you could work on a little bit. So just be careful with the snare when you're blasting with the left hand with your fingers. Try to keep the hand as close to the snare head as possible to the rim, because what you're doing actually is, this is the snare, this is your hand with the stick, and you're blasting from here, and because of this you're hitting the snare at this angle. Okay, what you want to try to do is to hit it as close to the rim shot as possible, because this way you're maximizing the rebound. So if you're holding the snare close to the rim and blasting from there, you're gonna realize that you're getting actually much more rebound, and you can actually hit harder and go faster. So this is something that you need to keep in mind. So just don't hold your stick way too far from the snare. Try to keep it as close to the rim as possible. The second thing is, yeah, I wish we could have a little bit less guitars and a bit more drums, because I would love to hear you a bit more. The overall production was very raw, of course, so you could use a little bit more of mixing, a bit more resampling, whatever you want, or at least louder drums for sure. I would prefer to have a foot cam as well, or maybe a couple of different camera angles. This is just my personal opinion. In terms of technique, I don't even know what else to say except for the stuff that I already mentioned. So I think this was overall great. Just keep doing what you're doing and make sure that you love what you're doing. Okay guys, this is the final video for today. Joona turpeenniemi. Something Finnish, Estonian, most likely, not sure, correct me if I'm wrong. For me, not that easy to pronounce. This is an Instagram video, and this is The Fool by Flash God Apocalypse. Okay, let's see. Yeah, he's angry. I'm angry too when I play this. That was it? Okay, we gotta watch it again. I'm sorry. Okay, but I guess he's just jamming actually. Okay, by the way, I was not playing with the track, so some fills and beats I skipped and just played all the stuff I remembered. I wish I could do that. Thank you very much for this submission. So the good stuff, I really love the energy and the anger that you have shown. This is something I can relate to big time. So this was nice. You got the speed, especially with the left hand. I'm not sure if this was a mirrored camera or you're left-handed. This is a rehearsal video, so I really don't know what else to say. So the bad stuff that you could work on, make sure that you hit the subdivisions properly, so all the 8th notes and 16th notes. This is a fast song. This song is at 2:30 if I recall correctly. Okay, so it's not that easy to pull off because it's quite extreme, let's say. Make sure that the 8th notes are 8th notes because you're getting a little bit behind the tempo, let's say a little bit behind the metronome off the grid. Obviously you could work a little bit on improving the fills and getting the parts right because they were a little bit far from the original. In case you are curious and you wanna learn the song in the future exactly how it's supposed to be played, then you can watch my full playthrough that I posted from a studio a while ago. It was actually on Paisty's channel. I recommend you to slow down the video and just write down the parts and learn them like this. I think it's an easy way to do it. Keep working on your speed and precision. Overall, I think it was pretty cool. It was very lovely to see you play the song. It's a very, very tough song. I am struggling to play it as well, although this is actually one of my favorite songs to perform live with Flash God Apocalypse. Okay guys, I really enjoyed this batch. We had a lot of great submissions. Honestly, today's videos were super awesome. Everybody was setting a very high standard. Great quality performance, great quality production, audio, video, technique. Everything was very nice. This was very cool. Thank you very much. If you still haven't submitted your videos for me to review, make sure that you do. Don't be afraid. You see, nobody's here to argue, nobody's here to call you out, and nobody's here to interrogate you. We're all having an adult discussion, hopefully learning from each other. Make sure that you get familiar with the rules before you submit your video. This is gonna be batch number 4, so the next one, the next 10 entries, I'm gonna review next time when I get some free time. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. I learned a lot from you, and I hope you also learn a lot from each other. This was super cool. Let's keep doing this. I wish you all the best. Take care and see you next time. Cheers. Impressed by this precision? Me too. This is all achievable thanks to the Foot Blaster triggers. Make sure that you head to footblaster.com and use the code Eugene in order to get a discount for your next Foot Blaster trigger purchase. More jungle toms. Nice swing.
You know how to swing. You're platinum, pussycat.
Enough power. Great dynamics, great speed and precision. Awesome kicks. You can tell that they're enjoying what they're doing.